welcome back to Bill Plays Bass, where I play these things. Today we're talking about fretless bass for beginners. So you just got your first bass, your first fretless bass. The assumption is you've had a fretted bass and you sort of know how to play that already, is my hope. And hopefully you bought a line fretless like this to make your life a little easier. It's a good first fretless to start with, for sure. So instead of talking glissando and tone and all this stuff and slides, we're going to take this back a step. So what you really need to do is you need just to play stuff that you've already played before on your fretted bass. And then I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to intonate appropriately, so how to get in tune. The sort of things that are perils to you not being in tune, and then just show you some things you can do to ease into playing the bass. This is a 34-inch scale bass. That's what I normally play, so there's a lot of muscle memory involved. Unfortunately, there's some muscle memory that just doesn't work on a fretless, and that usually comes in when there's multiple notes at the same time. So let's talk quickly about what I'm using gear-wise, and then we'll move on. So this is a mid-80s Carvin LB70 Fretless. It's active. It's got bass, treble, two single coil jazz pickups, and volume and pickup pan. So it's cool 80s headstock. And then I'm playing this through a Fender Rumble Stage 800, which is off stage down here to my right. String wise, everybody's going to ask, these are some sort of black coated tapewound strings. They've got a purple leader, if that helps you on your quest, if you like these strings. I personally don't. I recently bought this bass, and changing strings is one of those things I need to do. So by the way, this bass is not perfectly set up, any stretch the imagination. A nice fretless, you can lay the strings like right down on the fretboard almost. This is nowhere close, and then the nuts busted on the G string, so it's kind of messed up, but it is what it is. So the best advice I can give you when you're learning to play fretless is just play normal stuff that you play on your fretted bass. So it doesn't matter what it is, just play normal kind of stuff. So let's start in with intonation. Basically on the fretless bass, where you put your finger in relationship to, in this case, the markers. So this is the lined fretless, is different than the fret. So normally you're just trying to get somewhere in the middle, and really you're probably trying to get just behind the fret. Instead, you want to get pretty much on top of it. So a great way, and I'm going to stress this throughout, to get your intonation right. I mean, one, your ears are going to kind of tell you maybe something's wrong. So if you hear that as an E, and then you're, that's bad. But why don't you play them together? So let the E ring out. Hear how close it is, right? I'm just rolling my finger. So you've got to get it right in behind. Where I find things get a little challenging is further down the neck here. In this first 3 frets or so, your angle, if you've got to look at things, which I do. By the way, I've played fretted bass forever. I've got maybe 40 hours on fretless in my life. I've had like 6 fretlesses, and in the closet that's right here, I have a really nice Carvin LB75 with a coated fretboard that I love. I just never play it. So I'm going to change that. Now, again, down here, your angle, your viewing angle of where your finger isn't the greatest. So I find myself overshooting unless I'm really careful. There was awful. So, you know, you've got to get used to things. You just there we go. So it's a lot easier to do when you are in that visible range. Also, it gets harder up the neck, up the neck as well. So that major scale thing is something I play all the time, and I'm sure some part of it was out. There should be a lot of stuff that's out today, by the way. Listen to your favorite artist. Listen to Sting. He's out all the time, but it's not in a bad way, and he recovers quickly. So my thought to you is to try to play things where you've got like an open string or harmonic playing, and then fret something, you know, try to grab a note. So for instance, so other things, chordal stuff. So now that's just the way that sounds. So again, there's this good section in between here and here, and the rest of it is harder. This particular bass right now, if you look at the bridge, like the intonation is awful. Things don't ever line up appropriately like that. If you look at the bridge saddles here, they should be space staggered so that you have the appropriate intonation. You know, each string has to be slightly longer or shorter because of the thickness. Anyhow, that's my suggestion to you is when you're first trying out is to get that intonation right, is to play, you know, two notes together. You know, and if you want, you know, you can slide to them. That was not the 19th fret. So again, just you know, once you've kind of think you've got it, you know, just play normal stuff. If or if you know you're into, I don't know, like the Eagles. So like if you're into the Eagles, yeah. So again, just kind of play stuff. So chordal things will help you so much. One, help you with dexterity if you're not there. But two, you get to listen to two notes instead of just one. So you know when you're wrong because you know which one of them is right. I'll tell you for other things that are painful. So normally I would play like an E major or arpeggio, like that happened to work, but ordinarily your finger ends up being a little crooked. So I will instead try to lift my finger up so that I can make sure that it's straight on the fret. So another thing to kind of help you on your journey is, you know, what you hear is definitely going to make you want to play or not play. Play around with your amp, play around with settings on the bass. Right now, I'm basically emulating a P bass with this one pickup here. So I can move this, get a little less of that in your face. All right, so right now I'm on this front pickup here, so now I'm on both pickups. Maybe that sounds more appropriate for like here, I've opened this wide up. If I take the bass down, yeah. And that's on the rear pickup. Now, the other thing that you may have picked up already if you've watched some videos, listened to some people, is where you put your hand here, really on the fretless, is where your tone is going to come from. So whether you're... And of course, you back it down. More bass. So one of these cool things you can do is sort of emulate an acoustic bass by playing somewhere in between this area and this area. So let's see. So there you go. You know, it's really up to you. But again, you know, one, you got to get your finger pretty much on the fret, the fret. So on the lines, not ahead of it, not really behind it. And again, just this little bit is going to affect that. Again, if you play along with a harmonic or an open string, you'll get a much better sense of where the intonation should be on the fret exactly. And try to play sort of chordal stuff, you know, 2 notes, 3 notes at a time, and that'll help a lot. So hope this has been helpful. Again, it's just a very brief sort of introduction. But again, just play. You know, don't worry about all the fancy stuff. You know, just play the songs that you already know, the type of music you already like, and get it to where it sounds good. Once you're there, then you're ready for the next step. If you like this video, like all things bass, please consider subscribing to the channel. Have over 1 million channel views now, over 1,550 subscribers. Thanks for watching.